Okay, so that took a lot more work than I expected. This seems to be like a habit around here, and everything seems to take a little bit longer. Um, Again, I've never done a lot of this kind of stuff before, so I didn't realize that moving this many horseshoes and rasps were going to be like a 2-day adventure. But it ended up being, and but it's here. It's all here now. There's still a little bit more to be sorted and gone through. Not much, like a 5-gallon pail of more specialty stuff that Courtney had stored away. So here is all of the horseshoes, well, a good portion of the horseshoes that she stored over the years from shoeing horses. Obviously, some customers like to keep their horseshoes, they're sentimental, that kind of stuff. Some horseshoes just don't make it into this pile. Some get used for other things. So this is just what she had in store. So this, obviously, this massive pallet she was using to store them before, but we ran out of room. And so I used this massive pallet. It's a unique size pallet, so I don't know if I'll be able to find another one. My thought process was trying to find another one and then just extending it upward. But I don't know how easy that will be. So I threw some temporary boards up on here to throw some more horseshoes. So I think other than trying to find a pallet that matches and throw it up that way, I think I just have to start using them. So we're going to do that. So you see up here, I've added some specialty stuff that she had there that I don't know exactly what she would like to do with it. Like this one's really, really special for her. It was the first time of her making a shoe with this particular thing in it. I don't know what it's called. I have no idea. But I was there when she made it, and she was very happy about it. So that one's sentimental. Some of them are competition shoes from when she was in school and or going to horseshoeing competitions. That's right, there's competitions for making horseshoes. They're pretty cool, actually. Some of these are that. Most of those are up in the house. These ones here are all aluminum, which is pretty cool. I don't know what that is. I think that's just an experiment. This is a schooling shoe. These 4 up here are actually from her horse, Giggles. So those are special. She's got, like, I think most of the bucket that I was talking about is Giggles shoes for her jumping horse. Like, I think these, I'm not absolutely sure, but I think this is another set of Giggles shoes from a long, long time ago. Down here are either brand new or unused shoes that she still has to go through. But I moved everything out of that area and organized it a little bit better. It's pretty cool because last year, when I thought about making more projects out of horseshoes, I cleaned up a bunch of shoes just to do an experiment to see how long they'd last, and I have them put up here, some of them, right? And so if I pick a horseshoe that's not been cleaned, right? And so here, see if I get this stuff to like, so it's, I was worried about them re-rusting, like, so you can see that this guy's a little rusty. I don't know if I can get that to sheen. I'm gonna have to get one of those like circle lights for the top of this tripod, but anyway, this is a particularly good shoe actually, but this one, they stayed fairly clean. I didn't treat them with anything. I literally just wire brushed them on a grinder wheel, wire brush, and then cleaned them out. And so they stayed actually pretty damn shiny. So that gives me hope for when I'm cleaning shoes for future projects, because I need to, one of the things I wanted to do is clean shoes for later on so I could store them differently. And so that gives me hope that if I have a Sunday where I'm not doing much, I can come in here and just start cleaning some shoes, and that will go really well. Down here is the rasps. This one's a particularly huge one, so I'll just grab that one. They're all in these cardboard sleeves because this is how she comes, so she just slides them back in there when she's done with them. But yeah, they're just big files, if you're unaware. I can't, there you go. So there's a really, really, really coarse side, and then there's a regularly file side that you probably see on other files. But she uses these to file down the horseshoes, obviously, and they're really, really good because so these are high carbon steel, and so actually you'll see a lot of like hobbyists make knives out of these. I'm not really into making knives. I don't want to be just known as a knife maker. I think a lot of my crafts and projects are going to not involve being a knife, but I can see myself making a knife in the future, or anything really high carbon. I think that would be fun. I think axes are one of the coolest things to make. I don't know how well forge welding these together to make an axe would be, but hey man, that's an experiment for the future. So that's pretty good. Well, we got all this done, and I did a couple other side projects around the shop. Not anything that you could notice anyway. And then so we're gonna move on to doing stuff like that. I just wanted to get this done so then I could organize that storage room for her, because this was one of the projects that allowed us to free up some space in the house. So let's just hit the other side of the shop and maybe start working on the hand tool storage for the workbench. All right. Probably gonna need. I'll do this too. I'll grab it in a sec. So my thought process is, we'll start getting this workbench here sorted a little bit better. So we'll put some of the storage on the sides for the hand tools. I haven't really figured out exactly how I want to do that yet. I just know that I want most of these tools here to hang on the bench. Here, I'll show you. So I was thinking all the power tools I was going to make a spot for on the wall after we have the wall set up. But like the mallet, the hammer, the handsaw, the squares, the level. Obviously, I don't know if I want to make a spot for these or just keep them inside the shelf part. I was thinking about attaching this to the side, like making just a ledge for it to sit on the bench. But I'm not absolutely sure about that yet. But like the pocket hole jig, and then my angle jig thing, all of this kind of stuff, all of the clamps, and then I have like a screwdriver, a marking knife, marking punch, and then obviously the chisel are going to be one of the ones for sure on the top of the sides. So I want to figure out the best way to get these guys on the tool bench. And so what I thought about was, we have a lot of these offcuts from when we broke down the pallets for the workbench. And so I don't have a jointer or a planer set up to make it so it's really, really sturdy, but I don't think that matters. I think it just sand the sides and then attach them and glue them. Something like this. And then attach them to the side, but then also put holes or slots or whatever is required for the particular tool. Again, I've not done this before, so if I do things wrong, then so be it. But I think we could probably make do. If these don't work because they might be a little brittle and fall, I have an 8-foot board here. Oops, that I've pulled down from up here, and I can cut this into pieces for the shelving. But I'd rather use as much pallet wood as possible, so I can get as much experience as possible before cutting up the greatest stuff. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to work on. And so I think I'm going to potentially move everything that I want on or in the workbench over to the workbench, and then go from there. I forgot about the pry bars and the flush cut saw that I have here. Get those on there. I have these pliers, tape measure. The tape measure will most likely just float around the shop at all times. Should be there. We got these guys. So here's the thing that I don't know if I care about this. The pocket hole jig and the other jig here came with their own drill bits and whatnot. And so I think I'm going to keep them together. Oh, that's the other way around. Okay. I don't know if I care about that as much, but this is a stop for a drill. It's pretty good. But yeah, we'll figure that out. What else? So we got these guys. I still don't know what to do with this. I mean, I wonder if I could just maybe I just punch some holes through the back and just fasten it. So then I don't have to worry about making an individual thing for it. That might work out well. I can do that with this guy too. This guy's got actual slots. So we can put them up high. But I don't know if I want to do that or if I just want to have them sitting inside. It's a tight fit. I think I like that though. Just pull it out when I need it kind of thing. Still haven't pulled all the chisels out of their shipping yet. I don't know if these are any good, but they look nice, so I grabbed them. So then, what else do we have? Oh, we have this and this. Now, I don't know how to do this. This is self-centering dowel jig. It was pretty cheap. Then it's got a bag of dowels. So those could go on here, but I don't know how often I'll use it. So maybe we just use the stuff that we use the most. And then obviously our clamps. And then I got these little guys too. Grab these. Sure they'll come in handy. And then I got these little neat little corner clamps from Amazon. And I got them specifically because one of the first things I'm going to make here soon is just a little box Because when I set up the internet for the shop, I bought a wireless bridge to go from the house to the shop, and the bridge and all the stuff by the router inside is just a wiry mess now because I just added 3 more wires to it. And so I told Courtney that I would clean it up, and so I'm going to make a nice little 8 inch by 8 inch by 10 inch box, make it pretty and as pretty as I can make it, and then get everything inside there. So it'll be an interesting little thing. I think I have a hinge or two kicking around, like old hinges in here. But we'll take a look for that kind of stuff. So anyway, I think this is, other than fasteners like screws and nails, I don't know if I'm going to keep them on here at all. I think, oh no, there's this guy. This is, I bought the scraper, and then there's still some stuff. So there's a little bit holder set. There's these countersink bits that I grabbed, but most of the wood I'll be using is softwood, so it just sinks itself. I got this paint scraper. It's a lever paint scraper. I don't know. I got this for scraping wood off of joints and stuff, or scraping glue off of joints and stuff. Then we got this guy. I've changed from a garbage box to a garbage bag over here because garbage getting hot. I don't know where to start, so this was my way of just laying it out in front of me, I guess. Make sure that's everything that I specifically want over here. I'm sure other things will be added over time. Um, First, we should probably figure out what goes on which side. Well, obviously clamps and whatnot. Clamps and jigs and stuff, specialty things, should probably go on the one side, and then actual tools on the other side. We can do that, something along the lines. Well, I'm going to find something to put in the drawer in the, you know, cubby, I guess. There is a piece of thin plyboard up here, but it looks like wall paneling. I don't care what it is. I'll probably cut it up, stick it in here. And then I'm going to actually tear apart everything up here, probably this weekend. And just see what we got. There's a lot of closet doors, and over here there's doors. You can just see here. This is a door, and this is a full door. Um, and so we're gonna clean up there, and then we're gonna cover it so we can hold a little bit better heat. And then speaking of holding heat or whatever, we have these stall boards. Now, these boards came from a horse stall in the barn, and I think they're actually kind of perfect to set up a nice wall that goes in between the outlets here. And I'm going to go up probably about 40 inches. So it's going to start here and go up here. I'm going to cut this up into appropriate sizes. It's all tongue and groove, so it fits together. I'm going to secure it to the wall, and then I'm going to sand it and paint it. I should probably sand it first. I don't know. I'll look at it. And then sand it and paint it, and then we're going to put some kind of words of affirmation on it, maybe just good enough, or we'll figure it out. It'll look nice and pretty. We'll light it up. It'll be good. And then on either side, I bought some plyboard for either side, so I can do some shelving for the power tools on this side and the forge tools on that side. So I have that all planned out, and I'm hoping to start that this weekend or next week. And that this outlet, I actually don't know. I've never seen this outlet before in my life. So we're gonna have that moved up. I talked to my brother, and I'm safe. Like it's safe to do so for sure. So We're just going to move that up probably to about here and just leave it there for a little while. Just for a little while. Anyway, sidetrack over. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. We're going to just experiment with these two boards first here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put them together in the L shape the best we can. And let me grab some glue. I have some fast setting glue that I picked up. So we're going to do that for this little project here. And then, so I have that. I have this dries in 10 minutes stuff, but I have also, don't think I've talked about this guy yet. I have this new nailer. It's a pin nailer, so it's small. It's 23 gauge pin nails. Gauge. I have these little guys in here right now, which aren't going to help us. They're just little pins. I really got to get lights behind the camera. I think maybe I'll do that this weekend too. So we're going to actually change those out. I was just getting used to it, so we're going to change them out. We have sizes here, and I think we have 1 3/8 is the biggest we have in our little package here. I think it goes a little bit bigger than that, but they just slide in here. Beautiful. And then, so it's 1 3/8. I'm pretty sure that'll work just fine. Oh, for sure. And we're going to use this for fastening these together while the glue dries, instead of worrying about screws and splitting and all that kind of stuff. And I brought both batteries with me today, so we don't have to switch back and forth. So there's that. And I didn't give myself a lot of room to work with, so I think we'll just work over here. Okay. One thing I didn't pay attention to is what I'm going to put on first and how I'm going to make this happen. And so now I'm wondering if we actually bust out the Forstner bits and see if we can actually get that to work out for us. And so if we want to do the chisels first, then maybe we figure out the best size. That actually might just be perfect. Okay. Looks pretty okay. Not too bad. I have to straighten that out a little bit. It's a little wonky on that side. But if we grab this, we do this. Beautiful. Now, problem is I didn't foresee that the bigger chisels are going to be wider than these holes. And so what I'm going to do, I think, is figure out everything that's going to go in here. Figure out where I need to either widen the holes, or I think I might just get this guy and just go through the motions here. All right. So that worked out really well, I think. Obviously, there's some issues that I'm unaware of that were going to happen, but there's some tear out on every single one of those. It's probably just because the blade is not the appropriate blade, I guess. But I'm going to sand this down a little bit anyway. So hopefully that works out for us. And then, so I'm going to sand it, and then I'm going to sand the other guy. This guy over here, we're done with him now. And then we'll glue it and nail it. One thing I didn't check to see if I was lining it up correctly on the other side. Got nothing coming through. Pretty happy with that, hey? All right, so I think I want these ones to be the little bit higher up, so they're easy to grab, easy to get at. Maybe we do it over here like this. Just a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, and then we'll make sure that this, we don't want this to go above the top here, just in case we have bigger pieces. So I think that's pretty damn perfect. So didn't bring my punch, so I'll just mark it with the. Oops. Ta-da! Not too shabby. So that one's going to be the hardest one, for sure. I'm pretty sure the other ones just fit in. It's good. Yeah, I didn't expect this to take that long, but I think I'm going to speed up my process going forward, because I've done it once now, right? And so, like, the clamps are going to be easy, because I'm just going to put a board that I can clamp to. So the other stuff is literally just a board with some hooks in it. So I like it. I think it's good. So we'll come back again. All right, so I've made these. I'm sorry, I got the fan on and I got the music on, but I've made these little hooks. They're not that great. They're a little flimsy on most sides, so I'm driving some extra nails. Some of them I might need to pilot a screw into, but I'm going to use these to hang a lot of the tools on the side of this side. So this one's really bad, actually. So bad example, but that's what I did. All right, so obviously I didn't use the wood hangers in a lot of places. They're not as good as I had hoped, but it was a really good learning experience. Here, let me bring you up here. So I'm using some screws for some of the other stuff that just has screw hole hangers. Let me take this off. I didn't even use it. One of the things I noticed is that it fogs up my glasses too much when I'm sanding and stuff. So I got to figure out a way to better wear this thing while I'm doing that. But anyway, these hangers didn't work out the way I wanted to as much. So that was about an hour and so of time that I put into that. But I learned some stuff, so that's really good. I think investing in a bigger nailer for the future is going to be great. This one, I love this one. This little one is great. I just love using it, but it's not going to hold things together on a heavier scale, which I don't plan on making heavier scale things, but for this particular project, I think I would have liked to have a heavier nail gun. Unfortunately, I didn't get everything hung just yet because I'm going to just rethink some of the stuff. I like how I did this guy. And then these guys here, the pocket hole jig and the dowel jig and some of the counter strength stuff. I think I'm going to make another shelf on this side just below the chisels and then have it sit in the shelf there. Kind of like how I made these hooks, but just obviously not cut it down into hooks. And then just be able to have these things, right, just sit. It'll be bigger, it'll be wider, but sit in the shelf that I make. So it's just wonderful. And then I don't have to worry about where everything is. All these little drill bits and stuff, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to make a little box that's down there as well, that I can stand them up in so I can see them. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to cut. That's going to be it for this week. I got a bunch of stuff to do, so I'm not going to make it back into here for a couple of days. So had a lot of fun working on this, taking care of the horseshoes and the hand tools. It's pretty awesome, and I'm having a lot of fun still. Just even organizing the shop, getting it to the place where I'm comfortable to make things. Soon I'm going to tackle what we're going to do with the bigger tools here. Probably in a couple of weeks. I really want to do this wall and finish this off here. I think I'm going to make a cart for the planer and the jointer that I can just roll out of the way. The table saw has its own stand, so depending on how tall that is, I'd like everything to be this height. And so if it's not that height, then we might have to make something for that. But for the most part, we're having a lot of fun. I know I'm in the shadows here because I never hung the lights yet either, which I still should have done. But what you gonna do, right? There's only so much time for stuff. But hopefully next week we get to do a lot more.